Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Diamonds Are Forever. On the anniversary of her passing, a loving tribute to young and restless Jean Cooper, plus photos from her entire run as Catherine. In her final Soaps.com interview, conducted a little less than a year before her death on May 8, 2013, Jean Cooper offered up a simple reminder that few and far between are the actors who understand the genre as well as she did. In daytime, she said, "You have to grow in somebody's heart." Certainly, that was what she had done over the course of her epic 40-year run as Catherine Chancellor, the jewel-encrusted doyenne of the young and the restless. The actress reeled us in with the fire in her eyes and the fury in her voice. She made us gasp by delivering lines so pointedly, they practically lanced our TVs. And she stunned us over and over again by revealing the vulnerability that lay beneath the bling and the bluster. She was, in short, brilliant, up to and including her final performance on the CBS soundstage. You can rewatch it here. If for viewers it was difficult to accept that they had lost Cooper, who succumbed to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, at age 84, for her young and restless colleagues, it was almost impossible. Heck, it still is. "I miss her every day," Caitlin Esther told Soaps.com in 2021. "I half expect to see her coming down the hall or walking onto the set, and when I remember, well, it hits me all over again." But rather than dwell on what we've all lost, even on this somber occasion, let's instead be grateful for what we had. Decades of Cooper dazzling us like a jewelry box thrown open. To help jog your memory, click on the below photo gallery, a collection of highlights from the soap icon's unparalleled run as Catherine. There are actors who play roles, and then there are legends who become them. Jean Cooper didn't just portray Catherine Chancellor on The Young and the Restless. She was Catherine Chancellor. Regal and rebellious, steel-spined and silver-tongued, Catherine was a force of nature who reflected Cooper's own resilience and complexity. And now, on the anniversary of her passing, we revisit the unforgettable legacy she left behind, not just in soap history but in the hearts of fans across generations. 12 years have passed since Jean Cooper left this world on May 8, 2013. But in Genoa City, and in living rooms across the country, her voice still echoes. Her presence still looms. Her lessons about love, loss, power, forgiveness, and transformation remain timeless. Because diamonds, after all, are forever. Chapter 1. A Lady Takes the Stage. Before The Young and the Restless, Jean Cooper was already a respected working actress, with dozens of TV and film credits under her belt. But it was in 1973, just months after YNR first premiered, that she took on what would become the role of a lifetime, Catherine Chancellor. Originally intended as a short-term guest spot, Catherine quickly evolved into a pillar of the series. Cooper's commanding gravitas, sharp wit, and emotional range made it impossible to relegate her to the sidelines. She stormed the screen with fur coats and martinis, but it was the vulnerability behind the glam that captivated audiences. Here was a woman who could destroy you with a withering look and then break your heart with a single tear. And fans were hooked. Chapter 2. The Battle of the Blondes. If Catherine was a diamond, Jill Foster Abbott was the blade that kept cutting her. The Catherine versus Jill rivalry is soap opera royalty, a feud that spanned over 3 decades and was passed down like a sacred flame. From stolen lovers to swapped babies, buried secrets to outrageous slaps, no storyline encapsulated YNR's explosive drama like the battle between these two women. What made it sing, though, was the mutual respect beneath the rage, both in character and in real life. Cooper and Jess Walton created something transcendent. Their chemistry was combustible. The venom was theatrical, but the connection was real. "I don't hate you," Catherine once said to Jill. "I just wish you'd fall down a well." And yet, there were moments, rare, fragile ones, when Jill and Catherine dropped the armor and acknowledged their twisted love. Those moments were pure gold, and Jean Cooper sold them every time. Chapter 3: The Woman Behind the Legend. Off-screen, Jean Cooper was as dynamic as her character. She was open about her struggles, including a very public battle with alcoholism, and made no apologies for being authentic. That honesty resonated deeply with fans and colleagues alike. In 1984, Cooper made history when Y&R incorporated her real-life facelift into the show's storyline, a radical, groundbreaking move at the time. The episode blurred the lines between fiction and reality, allowing viewers to witness Catherine's transformation alongside Jean's. It was bold, vulnerable, raw. And so Jean, "I wanted to do it for the right reasons," she said in interviews. "For every woman who's ever looked in the mirror and felt invisible." Her willingness to bear her truth made her not just a soap star, but a beacon. She was a trailblazer in an industry often defined by illusion, and she did it without losing a shred of dignity or grace. Chapter 4: Family, Friendship, and Forever Bonds. Over the years, Jean Cooper became a maternal figure not just to viewers, but to her castmates. From Christophe St. John to Eric Braeden, from Jess Walton to Christian LeBlanc, so many in the Y&R family speak of her as more than a co-star. They speak of her as a guidepost. "She was the soul of this show," Braeden once said. "When she walked into a room, you stood up straighter." Her on-screen relationships reflected the depth of those off-screen bonds. Catherine's love for Brock, her mentorship of Nikki, her fierce loyalty to Victor, all were infused with the essence of Cooper's own strength and generosity. Even her scenes with newer generations, Devin, Lily, Kane, carried the weight of lived experience. There was a twinkle in her eye when Catherine gave advice, as if Jean herself were whispering wisdom from the heart. Chapter 5: A Farewell Fit for a Queen. When Jean Cooper passed away in 2013 at the age of 84, the soap world collectively wept. But The Young and the Restless didn't just mourn her, it celebrated her with a tribute episode and a storyline that honored her spirit. The fictional funeral of Catherine Chancellor was one of the most emotional events in the show's history. It wasn't just acting. It was grief, raw and unfiltered. Jess Walton broke down in real time. Christian LeBlanc choked on his words. Eric Braeden stood stoic, tears welling behind his eyes. Jean wasn't there physically, but her essence filled every corner of the Chancellor Mansion. Her portrait, her perfume, her piano. Her laugh, that famous, low, raspy chuckle, echoed in flashbacks and memories. It was a goodbye, but also a promise. Catherine and Jean would never be forgotten. Chapter 6: A Diamond's Glow, Still Shining. In the years since her passing, Y&R has kept Catherine's legacy alive. Her name is spoken often. Her portrait remains a centerpiece. New characters refer to her as a standard of taste, of power, of moral conviction. Even in the show's most recent storylines, from Chancellor Winters to the battles over Devon's inheritance, Catherine's decisions remain foundational. Her past shapes Genoa City's future. That's the mark of a true legend, a character who continues to shape narrative even in absence. It's why fans still refer to her as the Duchess. Why memes of her slapdowns still go viral. Why, on May 8th every year, the Y&R community lights up with tributes, photos, quotes, and stories. Because Jean Cooper isn't gone. She's etched in every corner of this show's soul. Chapter 7: Fan Memories, Forever Treasured. To honor this anniversary, we reached out to fans, some who grew up with Jean, some who discovered her in reruns, and asked what Catherine Chancellor meant to them. Here's what they said. "She reminded me of my grandmother, stern but fair. I grew up with her voice in the background of my childhood." Marcia G., Atlanta, Georgia. "My mom and I watched every day after school. When Catherine and Jill fought, it was like watching Broadway theater. Jean made you feel every syllable." Daniel P., New York, New York. I sobbed during her funeral episode. It felt like losing a member of the family. Clarissa J., Seattle, Washington. So many fans shared photos of themselves dressed as Catherine for Halloween, or holding YNR memorabilia featuring her face. The love is tangible. The memories diamond sharp. Chapter 8. Photos from a Legacy. To commemorate her legacy, we've curated a photo journey through Jean Cooper's unforgettable run on The Young and the Restless. 1973. Catherine's first appearance, champagne in hand, judgment in her eyes. 1984. The historic facelift episode, Catherine's new face, same fire. 1990s. The Jill slaps, the Brock returns, and those glorious shoulder pads. 2000s. Grand matriarch mode, mentoring Nikki, comforting Devon. 2013. Her final scenes, wiser, softer, but still sharp as ever. Each photo tells a story. Each moment a jewel in the crown of a career like no other. Chapter 9. A final love letter. To Jean. Thank you. Thank you for showing us that power doesn't have to be cruel. That elegance can have a bite. That aging doesn't mean fading. That women can be complex, contradictory, magnificent. Thank you for every raised eyebrow, every arched backhand, every raspy laugh. Thank you for your truth, for letting us see you in your most vulnerable and glorious moments. You made soap history. You are soap history. And like a diamond, unbreakable, unyielding, unforgettable, your light still shines.